Hey, what's up, YouTube channel? Stars down again. Go hard, go home. Y'all hit that like, y'all hit the subscribe. Y'all know what to do first. Doing one of my another critique on this Locario guy. People keep asking for these, but this is probably going to be one of my, not really one of the last ones, but for a while because some of the stuff gets to me it gets boring to keep listening to it. And I have to watch the whole video because I'm not gonna do like other people. Watch the video at first and then cut it down to what I want to, you know what I'm saying, to talk about and not let the man have the rest of his words. When I critique people, I try to play the whole video. And this guy's got some hour-long videos, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Some of the stuff be good, I'm not gonna lie, but most of it to me is trash. We're gonna go through this one and see again. Okay, this one he's saying men with game have to leave women on a consistent basis. I don't know what he's talking about exactly with this, so we're gonna give him a chance to see what he's saying, and I'll be critiquing the way on the way through. So y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and get ready because now I'm gonna move off of this guy for a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about some things I think that some of the other gurus do wrong, like Fresh and Fit. So, but for today, this is gonna be it with him for a while, and y'all hit the comments and stuff and let me know what y'all think. So let's get started. I tried to get past this little song that's in the beginning because it's just trash. That rap song he got out, but hopefully I haven't got it too far past where he starts. So let's see if we can go ahead and start, and let's get this going.
Instead, this you're thinking you're rich. But how you see yourself as a winner if I could ruin your day by smashing your bitch? Yo, what's poppin'? What's good? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So today, guys, today's show is going to be some advanced motherfucking game. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to April MC in the building. What's going on? Shout out to Monogamous Player, Tony Bays. Shout out to Soulmonger, Desi, Reggie Brock. What's good? Jaybird got game. Joe Blast in the building. What's going on? Shout out to Jay Rolling. Shout out to Dukalek. Shout out to, what's we got up in here? Navin. Shout out to Kwame, Jug Season. Jay Kaiser was good. David G or Dave G. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. K Zaggin 20 is in the building. Shout out to you, bro. What up, what up, what up? So yeah, so make sure that you guys go to badboymembership.com. Make sure you guys go to masculineidentitymembership.com so you can get that shit cracking also. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you go to all those places so you guys can step up your game. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys, get that shit cracking and we could do that. Now, I want to talk about this topic where I said, men who have game, right, are going to have to leave women on a consistent basis, right? Now, I want to break down what this actually means so that you guys really know and understand what I'm talking about, right?
All right.
Now, when I'm saying that, men are going to need to leave women on a consistent basis when they have game, what I'm saying is that when you're the type of guy who has game and your game gets better, you're the type of dude who is confident, you understand your value, you're the type of dude who really gets shit going, right? And women fuck with you, you understand what I'm saying? Because they really are attracted to you, they want to be with you and all that other good stuff, right? What's going to happen is that when you first meet women, right? When you first start to talk to a chick, maybe go on a first date, holler at a chick, whatever, right? When you first fuck with these chicks, right? What you're going to realize is that some women are going to be extremely cooperative, extremely on point. They're going to be, compliant. They're going to be doing the things that you need them to do in that moment, right? And then on the flip side, you're going to have women who are uncooperative, women who are all over the place, women who are just not really the type of chicks that you want to be with, or should be with, I should say, right? Now, this is what happens. Because you're a guy who has tight game, you're going to run into these women who are cooperative, and then that's going to be your standard. So now what happens is that you get used to dealing with women who are on point. you get used to interacting with women who are cooperative.
Okay.
Right? And now,
here,
because you're doing that, that is your.
Let me shut this dude up real quick. If you got to get used to that, you already got a problem. Okay. I will only coach guys to deal with women who are cooperative. That should be the standard from the beginning. It should not be that you have to get used to that. Uncooperative women are going to show you uncooperativeness before you ever even get to the dating. They're going to show it to you when you step up. These are the ones you're going to have to overcome objections with. The same stuff he's talking about, this tight game, mouth, all this junk. Those are the ones you're going to have to do it with. If you got to be working on your mouthpiece, it's because you run into a lot of uncooperative women. But you run into those women because you don't have anything to offer, because the only thing you do got is game. There's nothing wrong with game, but the problem with it is it causes these issues right here. You have to have more than game. Tight ass game is not going to matter, especially once you're 40 like this. Not going to matter unless a woman is still a 20-year-old in her mind. And then you're not going to be happy with her if you're 30, 40 years old, which is a complaint that a lot of guys get. But it starts off with this. There should be no, you got to get used to dealing with cooperative women. You should only deal with cooperative women. When you go to talk to these women, or if they're looking at you, or they give you choosing things or whatever, when you ask for the date and when you ask for other stuff, all the answers should be pretty much somewhere near yes or meeting you halfway. And if they're not, then you're already getting uncooperativeness. That's the problem with this shotgun approach. And on my channel, I'm going to be teaching y'all another thing too. Number one, once you get this level that he's talking about, where you're so tight, like with game or whatever, you're not even going to attract these type of women. They're going to stay away from you. I know. I get it. I get that way right now. Uncooperative women will stay away from me. They already know what is coming out of me. So let's go ahead and see what else he's got to say. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think that this guy, his channel, the guys that follow it, I think a lot of them are probably incels before. And they're definitely guys who don't have any standards, because he's been able to tell them that they have to lower their standards and stuff. I've seen him do that on certain other videos too. But let's go ahead and keep going for a minute here.
Your standard now, because you say, okay, I'm such an awesome fucking guy. My game is tight as shit. So I expect women to be a certain way when they're around me. Right? And then you end up getting those type of women. But what also happens is that you run into women who are not on point, who are not cooperative, who are, just on some other fuck shit. You understand? So now what's going to happen is this. There's going to be a lot of women that you're going to meet who are not on point. So therefore, when you meet these women, you're going to have to leave them, get rid of them, charge them to the game because they are not on point, right? So because they are not on point, what happens is that these women can't be with you. I'm saying,
if he's got, now here's the thing, if he's got to explain this to you, and this is what I'm saying, he's got to explain this to his audience. You already got problems that's got to be explained to you. Okay? You shouldn't, if you're past 20 years old or past the teenage years, really, you shouldn't be meeting too many women that's not on point, because you should be able to go to certain places and do certain things to where those kind of women don't really even hang out at. There's a big, women that are, your on point women are going to be in different places and on different lifestyle stuff than the women that are not on point. For example, I heard him telling the guy the other day about if a girl wants to come over to your house, she got to be able to take a Uber. First off, if you're not an Uber, if you're dealing with women that don't have cars, you got problems. That's my personal view of it. But let's just keep going.
And again, because they are not on point, these women cannot be with you. Now, I want to break this down when I say cannot, right? Meaning that they really can't. And the thing is, even though you may want to fuck with them in some sort of fashion, you're not going to be able to.
Do not do it. See, this is why I think the guy gives bad. Shouldn't be should do not do it. That's why I would have said. Not even if you want to, and you shouldn't want to. You shouldn't want to. The minute a woman is uncooperative, you should not want to deal with her. But let's see what his contingency plan is. Because me, I stop it right there. No cooperation, stop right there.
Because your game is going to be so tight that how tight, and this is how crazy it sounds. I'm going to break it down because y'all probably not going to get this at first. But because your game is so tight, you will not allow yourself to deal with these type of women. So therefore, you have no choice but to leave them. I'm going to say it again. Your game is so tight that you won't allow yourself to deal with these women, so you're going to have to leave them, right? So let me break this down in a sort of, way that we could get more specific, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say, for example, you're dealing with a chick, right? And she's the on-point chick, right? You hit her up and she returns your text or call or whatever it is. You set up a time to meet. She comes to meet you. You understand? Y'all are chilling, getting a drink or whatever. Everything is cool. You're flirting. She's flirting back. Everything is all good, right? And she's showing that she's sexually attracted to you. Everything is flowing. Everything is awesome, right? And then what happens is that because this chick, is on point, she's listening to what you're saying. She's basically following your lead, right? And you say, you know what, this chick is kind of cool. I'm attracted to her, so I'm going to give her this dick. You feel what I'm saying?
Dick is a gift.
You give it a dick, right?
It's
so
a
you
gift.
fuck with this shit. And then what happens is that you're like, okay, cool. Let me see this chick again, maybe next week or the week after that. You see her again. Everything is all good, right? You hit her up. You say, hey, come through. Or she's hitting you up and you're like, all right, cool. I'm free this day. Let's make it happen. She comes through. Y'all hook up again. Everything is cool. You do it again the next week, whatever. But everything is flowing with this woman, right? Now, because your game is tight, you meet other women that are similar to her, right? So what's going to happen is that these other women who are similar to her, they're going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be following your lead. They're going to be hooking up with you. Everything's going to flow smoothly and all this other stuff, right? Now, you start to recognize that this is the shit that you want, and you're getting it because your game is tight, right? Now.
No, you're not getting it because your game is tight. You're not. You're getting it because these women are already cooperative with you because they've shown you that they're sexually attracted to you, all the things that I talk about. It is not your game. It is not. It is all the things he just talked about before that. The woman is showing you she's sexually attracted to you. She's cooperative with you with everything you want to do because the woman likes you and the woman wants to be with you. It is not your game. It is attraction. The same thing I talk about on my channel. It is not your game. He just explained what I explained. He's calling it game. That's not game. It's not. If the woman likes you, it is not your game. It's not. So I don't understand what he's explaining on this one right here. But I do understand. Because of his audience, he has to talk this two-timing type of way. Because the guys that listen to him, I've got comments from them. These guys are Neanderthals pretty much. So I can understand why he has to do this. And he's a shrewd businessman. I give him that. We want to talk about game. This guy has game because he's gamed up a whole bunch of guys. Listen to him. He's making money off of that. And hey, look, I'm not knocking a dude for that. You go ahead and you get yours. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying if you really want to have results, you might can't listen to this because he's doing it now. He's actually doing it now. He's explaining something to you that shouldn't need to be explained. Let's go ahead and keep listening to what he's saying.
On the flip side, even though you're meeting all these cooperative women, while you're meeting these women, you're going to also run into women who are not cooperative, women who are going to have an attitude, women who are going to be attention whores, women who are going to try to give you the runaround, women who are going to try to waste your time, right? So now what happens is that when you're dealing with these type of women, you say to yourself, why would I deal with these type of women when I have these other women who cooperate with me?
Okay. Rule number one on my channel, you don't deal with nobody that don't cooperate with you. If you do, you're a loser. Straight up and down. Now, if he's got to get to this point of explaining this, You done talk to some losers. I don't really deal with losers. Okay. You should have gotten the idea back in high school that cooperative women are what you want. But let's keep going.
You understand? You're going to say, why should I deal with these goofy chicks when I have these other women who are cooperating with me? So let's give you an example of what would, take place if you're dealing with a goofy ass chick. Let's say you meet a chick, y'all exchange numbers or whatever, right? And you set up a date. She says, cool, yeah, I'll be there. You say, hey, meet me at 5 o'clock at this place. She hits you up and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm running late. Can we do 5:30? So now you're already like, oh God, this chick already is annoying me. We haven't even started the fucking date yet. And you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, we'll meet at 5:30. That's cool. So you get there at 5:30 and you get another text. Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm running like another 10 minutes late. You understand? So then now she gets there at like 5:45 and then you're chilling, talking to her, and everything seems cool at first. And then you're interacting with her and she's like, oh, can I actually get some other stuff that's on the menu? And you're like, no, listen, we're just trying to have some drinks or whatever. Right? So now she feels some type of way because you're telling her that you ain't really trying to do a lot of the stuff. You say, hey, you can pay for it if you want, but I invited you to have a drinks. This is what we're gonna do. Right? Next thing you know, you're chilling, you're talking or whatever. You're trying to flip.
Okay, here we go. I can tell you right now, if you're on this kind of date, your ass is a loser. Okay. If you look, I'm gonna take your ass out. And you're gonna take the girl out, right? And see, you have some drinks, we get something to eat. All right? That's what it should be. Because that's a standard common date. All right? Now, when you sitting there and you gotta tell a woman, no, I just came here for drinks. Yeah, of course she's gonna feel some kind of way because you just showed her that you can't doggone switch over and get and buy some food too. You're showing that you a broke ass nigga. You're not showing that you're strong. You're not showing that I'm only gonna do this. What you're showing is weakness to them. That's why they start feeling a certain type of way. See, you gotta understand the women too. You can't say fuck them because that's what his whole thing is. Screw what they want, and that's fine. But the deal is though, when you get the cooperative women and you start saying screw what she wants, she's not gonna cooperate with you anymore either. That's a problem that you're gonna run into. Just tell you it's coming. So it should be easily on a date. You go on a date, you should have enough money to buy drinks and food. That's what you should have. Because the woman's out with you to see if you can provide, if you can do A, B, and C also. That's why they're going. So right here, you're burning yourself into a corner on this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and see what the rest of he's got to say, and I'll critique that on the way.
Flirt with the girl. She's flirting, but at the same time, she's being a little standoffish, right?
So yeah, because you just told her that you won't do A, B, and C. So see, she's willing to do A, B, and C with you, but she can't get A, B, and C from you. That's why you're gonna start getting standoffish behavior when you're on a date like that. The date he's talking about, you are gonna start getting standoffish behavior. The person already came. They was running late. Got you. They was running late. It's gonna be some times where you're gonna be running late to some jump too. Okay? But the person was talking to you, calling you, texting you, telling you, I'm coming, I'm on the way, I'm just running late. They get there, pretty much, they're 45 minutes late. And here's the deal, guys. Most women are going to be late on dating. That's never changed. That's always been the truth. You go to this woman's house to pick her up, and you've been saying y'all have already planned this date. She ain't ready. She's still getting ready. Y'all already experienced this. You gotta wait. This is just something that comes along with dealing with women. If your game is tight, then you should know that. But let's keep going.
So now what happens is that you end the date because you see this chick ain't really, about it. And then
bullshit. The woman was about it. She showed up. If she wasn't gonna show up, she would. Okay, I can understand if she texts you a whole bunch of times, then never show up. I can understand that. You thinking she ain't about it. Okay, the woman was texting you, telling you she's late. Then she showed up to the jump. But because you get mad because this woman wants some food that either you can't afford, because that's what it be. To me, if you can't, come on, guys. I mean, seriously, a date might cost you $50, maybe 100 something if it's a good one. If you just going on some nice junk, but going somewhere and sitting out, shoot, Applebee's, Chili's, any little regular restaurant. If you buy a chick a drink and something to eat, you might spend $20 on this chick. Might. So when you go ahead and you show a woman that you can't even spend $20 on her, just start expecting standoffish behavior. Start expecting it. But don't think it's because of any of this stuff he's talking about. No, it's because you already showed her you're a loser. She took her time to come over there. She did A, B, and C and got there. And then when she got there, you started backing out on what she thinks you can do. That's what happened to you. I think the guys that watch this channel have a misunderstanding of women. And I think they get it because I think they were incels. Because if you listen to this, you had to be an incel. You cannot have known anything about women, or you would know that this stuff just comes with the game.
Let's say you like, you know what? I'm not even going to call her because it just ain't seem like it's nothing, right? Next, she hits you up out the blue next week. And she's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Right? So now you're thinking, should I even really fuck with this girl? Because when we was out, I wasn't really feeling it. She seemed all whatever, right? But then you're like, you know what? She's hitting me up. So let me see if I can make something happen.
You don't need to see if you can make something happen. If she's hitting you up, you can make something happen. It's not about seeing. I'm gonna let this keep going. But see, this is what I tell you. I hate having to sit through these guys' videos, but people ask me to critique them. And I'm doing it, but good God, it's like, please, this is 5th grade junk. But okay.
So then you basically say to her, well, listen, come through to my crib and I want you to come through and, we're going to get it popping. And she's like, oh, but what are we going to do when we get to your crib? And you're like, look, I'm trying to, I'm trying to get you naked and we're going to make this happen. And then she's like, oh, but, I don't want to feel like this is like, like it seems like you just want sex. And so now you
of course, because you wouldn't even buy this woman a doggone meal. Of course it seems that way. Of course it seems that way. If you don't understand why it seems that way, then you don't know anything about women. Not at all. It should make perfect sense that the person is saying it that way. But apparently to this guy and the people that watch this channel, it doesn't make any sense. But that's why I keep telling the guys that come on my channel talking about this stuff, you're only going to deal with ghetto women for the rest of your life. Because a woman of any kind of decency is not going to take this. And he's telling you how it's working right now. The way he's explained it makes it sound bad on a woman, but really it's bad on you as a person. When you was on the first date, you had opportunity right then. More than opportunity.
You're going through all of this shit. So now what happens is you start to remember the women who basically were just on point with you. You start to remember the women who are not giving you a hard time when you told them to come through. You start to...
The girl's not giving you a hard time. This is not a hard time. The first date that he just was talking about was not a hard time. It's just because the guy was being cheap, or I guess from their point of view, is I only said we come in here for drinks, so that's all we're doing. I can kind of understand that a little bit too. But if I'm already there and I'm drinking, I'm probably gonna have me something to eat too. I'll go ahead and get you something to eat. I don't care. But my money's tight. See, your game can't just be tight. Your money got to be tight too. And even if your money is tight, when you deny a doggone $20 meal, it don't make it look like your money's tight. It's like you got homies that claim they got all this money, but then when you say let's go to the bar drinking and spend $100 or $200 drinking, and they're like, oh no, man, that's too much. And see, that's what you sound like when you say that to the woman. So just so you know that.
To remember the women who were extremely cooperative on the dates. You see what I'm saying? And then you're comparing her to these women. You're like, wait a second. So I have these women over here that are just making this shit simple, and this woman's making it difficult.
First off, if you think that's difficult, you got problems. This stuff right here is nothing but simple, basic, and the woman's calling you back. And she called you back even after you wouldn't get her nothing to eat. So this is very, very, very simple. This is pretty much very simple. This woman is very simple. She's simpler than the rest of them. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to just let it keep going because, like I said, I can't. I really can't with this stuff because it's like it's too easy. And these guys are making it harder.
Right? So now you got to charge it to the game. So now you have to leave this chick alone. You have to leave her. You have to get rid of her. Because what happens is that when you get to the point where you're used to women dealing with you a certain way that's beneficial to you, and you meet another woman and she's not doing that, then you have to fucking leave her. You understand what I'm saying? She has to go. And see, like I said, your level of game won't allow you to fuck with her because you're like, wait a second. I know what I can actually get.
Okay, basically, what he's telling you is you only take the women that are easy for you. Or that you feel like are easy. And that's what you're going to get. I agree with him. That's what you're going to get. You're only going to get the women that you feel like are easy. And guess what? If she's easy to you, she's easy to other people. But the situation he's describing right now this isn't even a hard situation. If you got problems with a situation like this, you are very, very elementary in this situation, in this game stuff. You're very elementary. The woman texted you, showed up, came there, was willing to have drinks with you, and if you probably would have just had drinks and got the woman something to eat, you probably would have been going to her house that night. Y'all talking, vibing, doing all that stuff right there. And then you took care of the little bitty things that she thinks that a man is supposed to do. And so you get where you're going to go. So I don't even understand why a guy would be having a problem in this situation, but I do understand why guys that listen to him will have a problem in this situation. I do understand that. Because most of them, and I've watched some of his other shows, y'all seen me, I've critiqued about a good 3-4 of his other shows, and all of them are about like stuff like this. You gotta try to get the woman and give her as little as possible. But that's the reason why you're gonna wind up with losers in the middle of the point. If they take that, they're losers. Any woman that takes that, any person that takes that, any person that takes, they have to do everything to please you, and you don't do shit to please them, anybody that takes that, it doesn't matter if it's man, woman, child, or whatever, is a loser. That's why these guys will only wind up with loser women. Because they don't have to meet anybody halfway. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen a little bit more.
And I know how women act when they're really fucking with me. They're super cooperative. I don't gotta go through all this bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I don't understand what the bullshit was because the woman's calling you, contacting you. All you have to do is take the next step. So I don't understand. It doesn't sound like the guy's working hard to me. It doesn't sound like it's hard work. It sounds like you got mad because somebody came there a little bit late and then as part of a date wanting something to eat, which that's just kind of normal. It's not like you're mad about that. And that's loser stuff. You're a loser if you're doing that. That's not about that's not about the woman and what she wants. That's about you as a man. You know when you go out on a date that women expecting certain stuff. And if you can't do it, then don't go. Don't go. If you're looking for a romantic date with a woman, you buy some drinks, buy the freaking food. You ain't gonna spend that much money. You probably spend more money buying drinks than you will food, guys. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'd rather buy the food. I'd rather buy the food because drinks are gonna cost more. They always do. And as a matter of fact, if you go out by your own self and you buy food and you drink a soda or something, you're not gonna pay as much as when you buy food and you buy some drinks and stuff along with it. You're gonna pay more with them drinks. The drinks are costing like mad money. $8, $9, $10 a shot for liquor. 5, 6, 7, maybe if you get the cheap junk. 2 or 3 of those, you're out of $20. You could have bought the plate with that. You get a plate, you get a drink. Because most women don't ask for more than 1 or 2 drinks. That's another thing. I'm going with that on my channel. Because maybe you guys need to be told how to date. If you're watching this, you probably need to be told how to date. Because this ain't how you date. If the woman was showing up, if she showed up, she was down. She was down. And then she called you back. She was down. But you're going to throw that away because you're going to have to buy a $20 meal. Got it. Okay. It's why you're going to always be dealing with women at the bottom.
And see, what happens is that the tighter your game is, right? The tighter your game is, the more you're going to have to get rid of women. I'm going to say this again.
Now, that right there is just oxymoron. That's just ass backwards. But because the tighter your game is, the less you should have to get rid of women. That's really how that is. They didn't have to get rid of this guy, this girl. This dude didn't have to get rid of her. She was calling, she was talking. All he had to do was step his game up, make a couple extra moves, bam, she's in the sack. But apparently you got to cut this one off. See, that's what I don't get. But if your game is so tight, if a woman's calling you, this is what I'm trying to get at. This is what I don't get about this guy's channel and what he's saying. Now, other guys, they might want to do that. They might want to listen to it because, well, they don't have any type of, I guess, anything a woman would want. That's how I look at these people right here. Okay, if the woman's calling you and she's showing up to your junk, and then you left that, you ended that date, and then she calling you asking for another one, this woman's begging to give you sex. She's pretty much doing that. And all you gotta do is make a few little small moves, and you're trying to tell me your game ain't tight enough to see that? Well, I'm gonna let that keep rolling, man, because I'm gonna have to keep beating that horse. Here's the deal. Maybe he'll go into another subject after this one. But no. Okay. This is just bad advice. If it was me, I'd be telling the dude, like, hey, look, you should have gone ahead and did this. Now, if you would have bought the meal and the drinks, and then this joker was still acting like, then the joker started acting another type of way, that's one thing. Because you already did what you were supposed to do or whatever she thought you were supposed to do. But in this one, you didn't even do that, and she still kept asking you. So I can't say that the woman wasn't cooperative. This woman was very much, you told her you're not spending no money. You told her that I'm gonna just buy the drinks. I'm not doing no extra. You told her that. But that's why she's coming back saying, well, I just think you just want sex. And you do. Because you're not gonna do any extra. It's not anything bad. This is not being cooperative. This is the woman having some game too. But he doesn't teach you that women have some game. And that's why your game is always going to be inconsistent. That's why you're only going to get certain women. But let's go.
The tighter your game is, the more women you're going to have to get rid of. See, a lot of guys think, oh, well, if I learn game, I'm going to just be having a bunch of chicks and be fucking with. No. the more you learn game, the tighter your game is, the more chicks you have to get rid of. Now, the reason why you got to get rid of them is because some of these women are not up to par to fuck with you.
But the one he just described was not one of those people. I can understand if he gave a situation where a woman was flaking on you, didn't want to see you. You had to keep calling her. You had to keep asking her. But that's not the situation he gave. And that's why I don't... I'm finna go get my lighter.
Like, some women you're going to actually meet, and they're going to be so goofy that dealing with them actually can be a detriment to your situation, which is why you got to get rid of them. Like, for example, let's say you're a guy who's really busy and you schedule your shit a lot and you're like, hey, you know, I'm very busy. I got to do this. I got to plan this out. You know, I have time here. I don't got time there. Right now you're dealing with a chick who you're trying to make something happen with, and she's super late or she flakes. Right now, what happens is, because she flakes on that first time you're supposed to meet.
Now, he said flakes. He said because she flakes. He didn't say because she flakes and she's late. He said flakes. And I understand flakes. But late? Not show up at all is flaking. Got that part. But late? Okay.
You're like, shit, I gotta let this chick go. Because I set aside time for this day and this time, because this was the only day this week I had time to set aside for this situation. And she fucked it up by not coming through. So I got to get rid of her.
Now, see, he said not coming through. He said not coming through. I understand that part. But that wasn't the situation that he gave. He gave a situation of a woman being late, 45 minutes late to the date. And then asking for another date because she understood that she was late to the first one. These guys got no understanding of women at all. But fine. And that's one reason why I started my channel. Because I wanted to be able to tell guys about stuff like this. I won't be on YouTube forever, but I'm just going to show stuff like this. So that guys can, you know, these videos will be out there for guys who are really looking to improve themselves and improve their dealing with women, and not just this type of junk.
Like, I cannot allow a woman who is going to be this flaky to enter into my life. I can't do it. See, you got to look at it like this, right? When you work on yourself, your game gets tighter. So now what happens is that if you deal with a chick who is not up to par, right? That means that she's getting you for cheap. She's getting you for cheap. Listen, when you're on point, women who do not demonstrate cooperation should not have access to you. See, the price for the access is cooperation. And if she can't pay the price, she can't get you. Get it?
Well, my thing is, though, what about that woman that did pay the price? The one that was asking you, the one that was, okay, that's what I'm like, okay. This guy's over extreme. This is why you guys are going to fail in the long run listening to this junk. You can only get a woman who's going to be easy. Never does everything you want and all this other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing of it is this right here. If she's doing that for you, she probably does it for everybody else. Most people don't act this way that he's talking about. So, I mean, I get it, but it's going to hurt you in the long run.
She can't get you for cheap. So what happens is that you have to be in situations where you're dealing with chicks, and some of these chicks you might listen. This is how it gets. Some of these chicks you might actually be interested in smashing, but you're going to have to let them go and not smash them because you can't smash them because they're not paying the price. They're not cooperating. So they have to go. See, the weaker your game is, the more you settle and the more that you bend over backwards to get a chick or to deal with a woman. So guys who have weak game, what they'll do is they'll find a way to make an uncooperative woman, right, get with them in some form of fashion. You understand?
Okay.
This is what dudes, the weaker your game is, the more you're going to basically sort of like do whatever to get the chick. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to do whatever to get the girl. So even though the girl is like giving you the runaround, you're still going to try to engage with her because you still want to try to find a way to get at her. You understand? Even though the girl has an attitude, you're still going to try to find a way to, you know, get with this chick. You're going to try to hit her up again. You're going to try to figure out some way to make the shit go down.
Now, see, he's talking about two different situations in the one that he explained. The one that he explained has nothing to do with the stuff he's talking about right now. I agree with him on this point right here. If the woman is not cooperating, don't do this extra stuff. He's right about that. But the situation that he explained in the first place had nothing to do with the woman not cooperating. It had to do with she was late to the date and then she wanted something to eat. Neither one are not cooperating. Neither one of those things are incooperative. Being late and showing up still is cooperation. That's still cooperation. Wanting something to eat on the date, which is normal, is not cooperation. That's not being uncooperative. So, see, and this is what I say about his videos. The guys that watch him, they can't be thinking. They have to be. They got to only be listening to what he's saying, but they're not paying attention to it. They're listening, but they're not paying attention. You explain one other situation, but you're making that situation sound like this one, which it is not. Based on what you just said, you said flaking, not showing up. I totally understood that part. Being late, okay, you still got your ass here. Now I would be mad because you kind of late. He said he's right. I set my time aside to come here and do this. Okay, if you showed up though, I'm gonna do the date right like I'm supposed to. And then if you mess up from right there, then you gone. This dude that he had to do in the date, he said in the date because the person was late, because they want dinner and drinks, which is what most dates are, especially first ones. Because they want what naturally comes with that, then you should let them go. See, and this is why you're going to have problems. That woman that he just explained, the situation he explained before, the woman was calling. She was asking for more time. She's trying to get down with you. But because you don't want to buy no food, you call that incooperative, and the woman was late. Even though she was calling you, telling you, hey, I'm running late. Which I can understand if she didn't call you and just showed up, then I probably already be gone by that time. By the time she got there, I'd probably be gone. But this stuff, nah, let's keep it rolling.
But see, the tighter your game is, the less you tolerate that shit. Because what happens is you see yourself differently, right? You have way too much respect for yourself to deal with a woman who's not going to respect you. But see,
but like going back to his situation. Oh, here's my thing. How's it not respect if the person's late and they're calling you, telling you, "Hey, I'm coming"? How's that not respect? How's it not respect for the person to show up to a date expecting food and drinks, which is what women expect on dates, which is what people have done for years now? How has that not been respectful? You see what I'm saying, guys? You got to be kind of careful when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, because it's like this right here. Okay? You're gonna have this right here is what's gonna cause these guys to not win in the long run. It's exactly this. It's gonna cause confusion when you're out here doing dating, because you're gonna think that everything is disrespect, and it's not. This woman got a role to play the same way you got a role to play in this situation, and you got to be playing that role to a position to where the woman's gonna think that she could be okay. I'm gonna do this. When you don't play your role, then you're not going to get cooperation. That's not going to happen. Sometimes you're going to be playing your role and not get cooperation straight off the whip because the woman's not attracted, or she's just a bad person, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever. That's one thing. But in the situation he explained, there was no being uncooperative. There was absolutely none, from my point of view. Now, from these guys' point of view, I get it. Okay, you didn't get there on time. You wanted something to eat, and I don't want to do none of that stuff because the woman got the right idea. You just want to smash. Yeah. See, you're not gonna be able to fool women all the way like that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what your game is, the game thing he's talking about, and your mouthpiece. If you got a tight ass mouthpiece, if you had a tight ass mouthpiece, and if a woman's calling you and asking to see you, you should be able to make that happen. Straight up and down.
The weaker your game is, the thirstier you are. And so you don't have no problem chasing after some woman who is playing games or doesn't really want you or is just giving you the runaround or whatever it is. You're going to do that the weaker your game is. You understand? Because see, a lot of times guys who have weak game, what happens is that they're in situations where they are in this I'll take whatever I can get mode. You understand? They're in I'll
and this I take where you can get mode is where a lot of these guys' viewers are going to wind up at. It's going where they're going to wind up at. Some of them are younger now. A lot of his viewers, these guys are young. The guys that come on my channel talking about this dude, 30, 20 something, they're young. They don't understand that when they're at 35, 38, 40, and they're already getting some of it now because the situation he just explained earlier, you went on a date and the woman asked for something and you said no, and then you can't figure out, you think you got to end the date because she's asking for something that's normal, and then she's calling you back to talk to you some more, and then you talk to her some more, and she's like, well, I just feel like you just want sex. The woman was right. So maybe you should just be upfront in the beginning and say, I just want sex. I don't want to go for drinks. I don't want to buy you any food. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of that. If you don't want to buy drinks and food and stuff, guys, you should be straight up with a woman in the first place and tell her, I don't do that. I'm not buying nothing. We're not going out. We're not doing none of that stuff. If that's the level that you see the woman on, because if you're not willing to do it, that's the level that you see her on, then you should just tell her that from the beginning. But you guys know that you're not going to get any answers right away. You know you're not going to get anywhere like that. So you got to try to play a game to try to get somebody else to do something, and to see that it backfires on you, like what happened with that guy. The situation he explained before, that happens, and then you're going to have all the other junk happen that he's talking about. And it's not because your game is weak or strong. It's because the woman, she's got to understand that if she's weak-minded, you would get her with the tactics that he's talking about. But her game has to be weak. And a woman with weak game is going to be an easy target for any other man. Just throwing that out one for y'all.
Take whatever I can get type of mindset. And that's because they haven't experienced women being cooperative on that other end. So the tighter your game is, the more women you got to charge to the game. The tighter your game is, the more women you have to leave. You understand? The more women you're going to have to leave. And see, what happens is that your understanding of the game is not going to allow you to let a chick fuck with you or get with you if she's not doing the things that she needs to do.
Okay, this is an understanding of game. This is just in general self-respect for yourself as a man. Okay? It's a part of the attraction thing that I talk about on my channel. Okay? And when you have this in general self-respect for yourself, you won't have to worry about women like that even approaching you. They're going to know better. It's the same way that you know not to go up to certain women because you're not on their level. Yeah. Yeah, I know, especially if it's guys that watch this channel, there's a lot of y'all like that. Y'all can't go up to certain women because y'all ain't on their level. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing of it is it works in reverse also. Just to put that out for y'all.
You see what I'm saying? It just won't allow you to do it. Like, it's damn near impossible. It's like, if you think about it this way, if you owned like a jewelry store and you had some jewelry that was worth, you know, let's say 10 grand, you're not going to have somebody come in and say, oh, well, can I get it for like $1,000? No. You're going to be like, you can't have it. You'll turn away all these people trying to get it for $1,000. And then the person who will actually get it is the one who's going to give you the 10 G's.
Okay. Now, just so you guys can understand, women understand this too. That's why the situation he was just explaining before, because I'm not going to make it, I can see it now, I'm not going to make it through this whole hour and a half because it's silly. He already explained enough of the situation for me to go ahead and start critiquing the video. I'm going to make it through I'm going to go to about 30 minutes of this jump. But here's the deal. The women want something too. It's the same analogy I use in a lot of my videos about the fishing thing. If you're throwing catfish bait, you're going to get catfish. You got to have a lure to get a big bass. You're not going to get them with catfish bait. Same thing. Now, I agree with what he's saying. You can't have what's worth this for this. I got it. But the thing works on the same way on the other side. Which the situation he explained before was this right here. The man got asked to just buy a meal. And I'm pretty sure if that man would have done that night, if the woman was calling, talking, telling she's coming, and then you didn't buy the meal, and she called you again, even after you didn't do that, she gave another chance for you to, hey, just go ahead and do this part right here. Throw the bait that I want, and I'll give you what you want. That's pretty much what happened. But you're being told not to do that, which I don't understand why. I don't get that. But let's watch this guy for another about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to critique the video and I'm going to turn it off because I can't, this type of stuff right here is just, this is kiddie. This is childish.
So it's the same thing when you're a guy who's basically on point with his game. You realize how valuable you are. So the woman can't get you unless she pays the price, which is the cooperation. You see what I'm saying? It's the cooperation. Shout out to Miles Cunningham in the building. So that's what you got to understand. The price of admission is cooperation. And then if you guys have a question, put a Q in the chat, and then we'll get to some of your questions and get that shit going. You feel me? But yeah, that's really what it is. So a lot of people think that, you know, well, once I get all this, learn all this game, I'll be fucking with all these chicks. No, you're going to be charging all these chicks. You're going to be charging them to the game. You're going to charge more chicks to the game than not. Because what happens is that the tighter your game gets, the more women who are going to be out there that are not going to be up to your standard. The tighter your game gets, the more women you are going to find that's not going to be up to your standard. I'm telling you. You understand? See, you got to play a numbers game, regardless. The tighter your game is, the more of a numbers game you have to play. Because if you have any self-awareness, right, you would realize that there's certain types of women that you should only enter into your life. You understand? Because check this out. Let's say you're a person who is, okay, I'll use myself as an example, right? I got shit going on. I'm successful. I'm on business. I do all of these things, right? So what does that mean? That means that I have a lot to lose. Now, since I have a lot to lose, right? Would it make sense for me to deal with a woman who is a time waster, who has an attitude, who is unreliable, who's uncooperative?
Okay, I'm just go ahead and tell you, you don't have to have no business and all the other stuff. Now, I advocate a lot for that stuff on my channel because I have my own business and things like that too. But here's the deal with that. And it doesn't matter if you don't got your own business. You shouldn't deal with nobody that wastes your time. Even if you just a guy working a job. If you working your job, if you're trying to move up towards having your own business, you got even less time to deal with people who are going to be wasting your time. Now, I agree with that. But the thing of it is this don't got nothing to do with your game. It's got to do with your self-respect of yourself and your own personal time. So it doesn't have anything to do with your game. Okay? Because only the women that are going to respect your time and all this other stuff like what he's talking about is going to be able to get to the point of it, the game. Of you even talking to them. Matter of fact, you should be able to recognize this before you even start interacting with these women. When he's talking about game, I'm gonna tell you how I look at that game thing. You should be able to look at these women. I can size a woman up looking at her ass, look at her job, look at her what she's appearance, what she got going on, what she's saying to me. I can size her up then. So I don't agree with this dude. I mean, I agree with him some ways, but in most of the ways, I feel like he just really kind of run a lot of bull jive. Because, this, like I say, the situation he explained earlier has nothing to do with nothing he's talking about now. And he's still saying end the day, end this. A woman's like throwing herself at you, but you want to end that. Because you got to buy a $20 meal and some drinks. You're a loser. You're a loser if you gotta do that, bro. I'm telling you that right now. I don't want nobody to say. You can leave the comments and say what you want to. I hope y'all leave some comments on here because I'm gonna clown you. I'm gonna put you on one of my doggone shows where I got a comment from that, and I'm gonna respond to it, and I'm gonna clown you. I'm gonna make it through 6 more minutes of this, and we out of here.
But it makes sense for me to deal with that type of woman when I have a lot to lose. No. Because all that's going to happen is me dealing with that type of woman is going to affect the situation that I'm in, and it's going to bring me down.
I agree with that.
You understand? So what happens is that if I'm dealing with a woman, she has to be cooperative. She has to listen to my instructions. She has to be on point. She has to be where I say for her to be at when I tell her to be there. And if she's not doing any of that stuff, then I can't fuck with her. You understand? I don't care how fat her ass is. Even if I'm like, oh damn, I want, oh, shit, I want to smack. No, I can't. I can't do it. See, that's when you know your game is so tight. When you have to tell a chick to bounce, right? Even though you want to smash. Because what's more important than the ass is you.
Got no argument with that part.
What's more important than the ass is you. You understand? That's more important than all that shit. So if the chick is not doing what you need her to do, you don't need to be with her. You wasting time trying to convince the chick, do all this other extra shit, jump through hoops, do all that. That's taking away from you, right? Because if you're on point doing you got shit going on, right? All that chick is going to do is slow you down. All it's going to do is bring unnecessary drama to your life. Right? But see, guys get tempted because they're like, but yo, she's bad though. But Locario, she's a baddie, bro. But she's a baddie, bro. So, see, if your game was tight, you would realize that none of that shit matters. Because you'd already had a baddie. You'd be dealing with baddies. You'd be doing all this shit anyway. Right? You would know how women interact with you when they're really feeling you, right? You would know that women who are really about you are going to cooperate, right? So now that you know.
And this is where I got a problem. Because he explained a situation where a woman was cooperating and he still said end it. He said end it because the woman wanted food on a date. But we all know that that's what's going to happen when you go there. That's like asking for a job at McDonald's and then you get pissed off because you got to fry the nuggets. It's like asking for a job at McDonald's and getting pissed off because you got to fry the fries. It's not asking for a job at McDonald's and getting pissed off because you got to fry the burgers. You got to make the burgers. You got to take the money from the cash register. You got to serve people. You can't get mad about stuff that's normal. I'm not gonna let this dude go no further because to me it's insulting to my intelligence to even keep watching this because you already explained a certain situation and you told me to leave that one even though I was getting most of what you said. And matter of fact, if I would have put in some more work myself, you keep talking about a tight ass game, but it's like these guys don't understand tight ass game because the situation he explained before should have been a winning one. Woman's calling. Woman's keep talking to you. You're letting it go because she was 45 minutes late and wanted some food. Which both of those things are pretty much kind of normal. In dating you, here's the thing, you're not going to get most women, they're not going to show up on time. No. Most women not going to show up on time. I come from the old school when you used to have to go pick a woman up. And most times when you got there to go pick that woman up, she wasn't ready. Or she was barely just getting done to get ready. You told her to be ready this time. She was barely. This has been going on for years. I can't. And I'm not going to. Y'all, I try to do this, but I can't. So I'm going to just stop this video right here because he's just going to keep explaining more stuff and then going backwards on it. That's usually what happens in his videos. He explains some good stuff and then he'll start talking about something that's crazy. In the beginning of this one, he talked about something that was crazy. That was crazy. You're going to lose if you're walking around thinking that. If you think a woman's going to show up every time you show, she's not going to be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, 45 minutes late. Man, I've been dating women for my whole life. I've never shown up and one was ready to go. I mean, like that's like onesies and twosies. Enough to the point where I say never. I can count those times, and the rest of them was the broad wasn't ready. Look, I'm out of here, guys, because I don't see no sense to even keep beating this one. I already see where it's going. It's the same thing like the rest of the other videos. It's going the same way. He's gonna explain the situation, and then he's gonna explain that situation away later on. But this is why the people that watch this channel, and I'm not telling them to stop. They can go ahead and do it, because here's the deal: on my channel, I'm gonna be training you guys, because these guys right here are going to, their women are gonna be another pool of women for you. These are gonna be your side chicks. The guys that are dating guys like this, the women that are dating guys like this. Okay, because they're not gonna do certain things. They're not gonna do things that are normal. This joker always talk about extreme stuff. At some point, I can make it through a lot more of the video before it says something extreme. This time I only got to 30 minutes, and I ain't doing no more. So look, y'all hit the like, y'all hit subscribe. And first off, the thing is, the more game you get, the more women you got to leave. No. The more game you get, the more women that you want. The game. He's explaining game is self-respect, and that's what you need to get first. So I tell guys, need to go do their job, become the best in their job, become a leader in your job, but get some self-respect for yourself. Build some self-respect for yourself. When you got self-respect for yourself, when you deal with women, they're gonna see that, and they're gonna treat you a certain type of way. He explains this also, but the thing of it is you got to have some sense of your own self too. Okay, you gotta have some sense of your own self. Woman show up 45 minutes to late to a date. That's almost pretty much normal. Y'all even getting people y'all got to the point these days the women are meeting you. You just had to pick them up. You couldn't do that. You was out. That's what it was. So the thing of it is and as we haven't done that a lot in my life, they was never ready. They was never ready when you got there. When you asked them to show up, they always showed up late in most cases. It's some of them where they show up on time. It's a lot of them where they do, but the majority of them, they not showing up. So I ain't gonna keep. I can't, because I ain't gonna watch the rest of the video. This is material for guys who are losers, and I'm not one, so I can't really watch it. But this is my critique of this. All right, if you got to build up all this game to start dissing chicks, you can do that now. You can get rid of women now. You can get rid of all the I'm not gonna do this. You can get rid of that now. You don't have to have your own business. You don't have to build yourself to a certain level that he's talking about. If you got self-respect for yourself now, women won't get over on you because you won't allow it. But the other situation, no. So I'm out of here. This has been Taurus Down to Go Hard, Go Home, because I can't do no more of this. Y'all go ahead and hit the like, hit subscribe, do the comments, let me know what y'all thinking. It's been Taurus Down to y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.